Hey everybody, I don't know exactly what it is about nickels that makes them so fun to collect. This nickel right here was part of a collection and sold for over $30,000. We're going to talk about why this nickel sold for so much, and we'll take a look at some other nickel errors and varieties and talk about what they're worth. Here's our first nickel. This is a really cool error nickel. It's really called a variety instead of an error because the error was made on the die when it was being created. This is the 1943 Philadelphia Minted Jefferson nickel. This is called a DDO, which stands for a doubled die on the obverse or head side of the nickel. As I mentioned earlier, this die variety is created when the hub and the die being created are rotated between pressings. This causes some of the features of the design to be doubled. You can see the doubling on all of the letters of the word Liberty as we see here. There's also doubling on the star and the date on this nickel. But that's not the whole reason this nickel is worth so much. One of the considerations for valuing a nickel is the quality of the strike of the stairs of Monticello. In order for the nickel to have full steps, you have to have 5 crisp unbroken lines for the stairs on Monticello. You can see the FS or full step designation right after the Mint State 67 grade. This shiny 5-cent piece sold at auction for over $11,000. We just looked at a DDO. Now let's take a look at a DDR. This is a 1945 Philadelphia Minted Jefferson Nickel DDR, or double die reverse. You can see some of the doubling on the word states of at the bottom of the nickel. The doubling is a little more obvious on the words 5 cents, and it really stands out on the last half of the word Monticello. Although the steps here are looking a little rough, this nickel was still given a full step designation. It graded Mint State 66 on a scale from 1 to 70, and this nickel sold at auction for over $14,000. What would you do if you found this jacked up nickel in your pocket change? The first thing I would do is to take a good look at it and try to figure out if the poor strike and the design flaws had to do with a mint error, like a struck-through error, or if it was post-mint damage. Then I'd take a look at the back of the coin. Wait a minute, is that right? Yep, the front and the back are the same. This must be a novelty coin, right? Not so fast. I would weigh the nickel to see if the weight matches a nickel weight. If the weight is correct, it's time to take this nickel to a trusted coin dealer for their opinion. This is an actual nickel from the Philadelphia Mint in the year 2000. This nickel was struck with 2 obverse dies. Despite the poor appearance of the features of the nickel, it was still graded a Mint State 65. What's this beautiful monstrosity worth? This incredibly rare nickel sold at auction for over $20,000. We saw one of these earlier, but this one is a little different and a little bit more valuable. This is a 1939 double die reverse. It's a good looking nickel with a nice strike. It even has a full steps designation despite a lack of detail on the rest of Monticello. You can see slight doubling on some of the letters near the edge of the coin, and it gets more intense on 5 cents and Monticello. Do you see any other doubling? Look at the left side of Monticello. Now take a look at the right side. Do you see it now? This nickel graded Mint State 67 with the full steps designation and sold at auction for $20,500. Take a look at this beauty right here. This is a 1949 Jefferson nickel. It graded Mint State 67 on a scale from 1 to 70, and it has the full steps designation. What makes this nickel very rare is that it has a repunched mint mark. The original mint mark was an S from the San Francisco Mint, but was later changed to a D for the Denver Mint. Take a look at the tail side of this nickel. You really should have a loupe or a magnifier to see more clearly. They did a pretty good job at covering the mint mark, but you can still make out part of the S north and west of the D. This nickel sold for almost $33,000 at auction. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.